From pre-colonial Uganda to date, communities have been dependent on taxes as a major source of raising revenue to run their development programs. Whereas taxes in pre-colonial Uganda were in indirect form, mainly paid in form of products, the post-colonial period has been characterized by both direct and indirect taxes paid in monetary form. In 1991, Uganda Revenue Authority was created by an Act of Parliament as a semi-autonomous body under the Ministry of Finance to collect taxes on behalf of government. Creation of URA saw a merger of the three finance ministry departments of Customs and Excise, Inland Revenue and Income Tax that prior to 1991 administered these taxes.
The principal mandate is to collect central government taxes, because there are local government taxes that are collected by local government. We collect central government taxes. We account for the collection. We also advise the Ministry of Finance on policy matters, because the policies that are generated by government are given to us to implement.
Executing this mandate is, however, done amidst grave challenges, notably the poor tax-paying culture in Uganda, leading to low compliance, low level of tax literacy, and political interference.
The principal challenge is in tax education is trying to raise the compliance from one level to another so that it delivers revenue. We have those who run small informal businesses that are perhaps in existence today, tomorrow it disappears and another one comes up. Now, the challenge with that is in having that group there with you all the time so that you can educate them, because if they disappear in a few months' time, you have to train another group.
In a bid to address some of these challenges, URA embarked on sensitizing taxpayers on various tax issues, notably their rights and obligations as specified by the various tax laws. Taxpayer sensitization was meant to increase voluntary compliance and ultimately boost revenue collected. It was done by way of production and distribution of pamphlets and quarterly newsletters and radio and televised programs. There was, however, limited face-to-face interaction with the tax-paying public. In 2005, URA embarked on a reformation exercise to create efficiency and effectiveness in tax administration. This was a result of the poor public perception and negative media reports about the organization prevalent at that time. The reformation exercise sought, among others, to rebrand and improve the image of URA as a means of improving its relationship with taxpayers and gaining public trust and confidence. A new division, the Public and Corporate Affairs Division, was created under the Commissioner General's Office to manage image building and rebranding of URA. The division employed a number of strategies to achieve its mandate, including the development and execution of taxpayer education campaigns through its tax education unit.
So you would say this is one unit that whose sole goal is to create a tax-informed public, both the existing taxpayer, but it also goes out to ensure that we have a future generation that is aware of the tax obligations and aware of the tax matters.
Educating taxpayers in the post-2005 reformation period was largely carried out through the Taxpayer Days held on a quarterly basis. These days provided a forum for URA officials to educate taxpayers on tax-related issues, basing on their needs, as well as gather issues and opinions.
This day is handled simultaneously in 29 URA tax districts. Apparently, what happens during the Taxpayers Day is that much as we purpose to reach out to the taxpayers through this sensitization program, we also have an opportunity for URA management to move out at the same time and talk to the staff and be able to hear their needs and their concerns and be able to do the customer care element as well.
A critical concern arising from the Taxpayers Days was their inability to address specific yet pressing tax issues raised by taxpayers, hence need for more focused meetings targeting specific business sectors and interest groups. Consequently, the Commissioner General appointed a 20-member resource team from the Customs and Domestic Tax Departments, which resolved to start tax clinics to address unique yet pressing issues of particular groups. Unlike Taxpayer Days, tax clinics are organized for specific sectors or groups of people to discuss a particular tax issue in depth.
We do the awareness campaigns through those clinics. We would get into an area, tax-paying community, and we would work with them really on the simplest of issues, from bookkeeping, making them aware of the tax laws, understanding their issues, trying to get them through, and also explaining to them where they can easily address their needs.
Tax clinics are organized through 3 approaches. The first, tackling the business sector. Under this approach, tax clinics focus on 10 sectors, namely agriculture, forestry and fishing, manufacturing, mining and quarrying, electricity, gas and water, construction, transport, storage and communication, general trade, financing, insurance, real estates and business service, community, social and personal services, and tourism and hotels. The second approach tackles special interest groups, namely opinion leaders, professionals, artists, media, while the third focuses on weekly tax meetings with trading communities such as Kikubo Trading Community in Kampala.
These meetings are focused, they are easy to manage, and we're able to actually get to the taxpayers and give them the information that they actually need from us. So that has actually been a score that we have realized.
Between July 2009 and January 2011, the Tax Education Unit organized 136 tax clinics, among which were 3 specialized clinics for lawyers, judges and diplomats in Uganda's capital, Kampala. Overall, URA staff at all levels are involved in the tax education drive. URA station heads nationwide organize tax sensitization workshops without relying on resource persons from the head office.
So one thing we noted about that is that people now can be able to come willingly and register with Uganda Revenue Authority, and we know that a particular business so and so exists in Uganda, and they go ahead with their business.
The resultant benefit, which everybody can testify to today, is that you are in a position to discuss and freely open up your mind and try to understand each and every aspect of taxation, which you are able to get an answer straight away without necessarily waiting for when the taxes will be levied. And sometimes there are even opportunities for you to understand how taxes are calculated.
Haji Takalia, a prominent businessman, operates in Kikubo, a trading community in Kampala City. Like many of his counterparts, Takalia was against paying taxes and the institution of URA before embracing his tax obligation as a result of the tax clinics.
Twagezaako nnyo okusendasenda abantu nga tebagenda kusembera we muli. Twabasendasenda mpolampola ne batandika okujja mu seminars. Okuva mu batandika okubasomesa. Kati abasuubuzi balungi nnyo era bafuuka mukwano gye muli.
Council has realized that their emoluments are part-time. They are part-time employees. And their threshold is taxed at a flat rate of 30%. This caused a lot of stir, and it was very difficult to explain. However, we managed to get in touch with Uganda Revenue Authority Tax Education Department, and they managed to hold certain tax clinics. The councillors are now aware of their tax obligations to URA.
The tax authority has a duty and an obligation, both moral and statistical and otherwise, to try to encourage the business community and advise them on how to do business in a more competitive way. Meaning that they need to encourage the business community to do clear accountability, project in a much more mature and responsible way in order to get into the businesses they are doing, and to be able to define and determine the scope and activities that they are involved in, so that they are able to predict whether the business is viable or not.
In addition to the tax clinics, a tax information desk was put in place to publish and disseminate tax literature on various topics. This tax literature targets potential and actual taxpayers to improve their knowledge about various tax issues. The literature published, among others, includes tax brochures, posters, cartoon illustrations, and a booklet of frequently asked questions. This is compiled on a regular basis, following an analysis of the questions frequently received by the call center and through the URA website, public debates, and tax clinics.
When we produce information, the pamphlets, the booklets, we have regional offices, we have URA offices countrywide. So we send this information to these offices countrywide, so that when the taxpayers get to visit their stations for any service, this information is available for them, so they can easily pick it and take it home.
Apart from publications, a call center service through a toll-free helpline 0800 117 was set up as an avenue for quicker response to taxpayers' inquiries and needs. The service, launched by His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in 2005, is available from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The high-technology service, rhyming with the toll-free services recognized worldwide, has translated into improved service delivery to clients.
It gives us an indication of what is grey and needs to be further developed into a publication that can be shared, a poster, or a topic for discussion, really. Yeah, so the call center, on an average, a call center receives around 80 calls a day, because they are into the over 300 calls in a week.
Additionally, tax information is also availed through the URA web portal and the intranet. The web portal, accessed through www.ura.go.ug, is home to a variety of updated tax information and laws. Besides providing information and updating taxpayers and URA staff on new processes, the web portal is also used to manage taxpayers' electronic business transactions.
It is useful in the sense that it's a channel of giving information out there and receiving feedback on an international scale. And basically we use it to host information there, but also we receive feedback from it, which we act upon, or which guides us when creating certain publications or topics for debates.
In order to interact more with the taxpayers and generate feedback, URA launched the live interactive radio talk show programs in 2007. Piloted in the central region, the radio talk shows have been decentralized in all the 29 URA tax districts in the country.
You would pick a subject that is relevant to that community. If it is presumptive tax you want to teach about, because it is in the need for Mbarara, then you would educate the Mbarara tax-paying community about that particular tax. So radio is another channel really through which we disseminate information, and we open up space for questions so that we can clarify on issues.
Tax awareness among the taxpayers led to a need for continuity and sustainability of efforts among the future taxpayers. As part of the 2006-2010 corporate plan, URA embarked on a massive tax education campaign among students at ordinary and advanced levels, with a long-term objective of creating a tax-compliant future generation.
People fear tax. They think it's it's something they shouldn't do because they don't have the information. What do we do with the taxes which we collect from different people? They don't know that that's how government earns the revenue, which revenue we use for the programs we implement, like UP and others.
Together with the Ministry of Education and its departments, the National Council for Higher Education, Education Standards Agency, and the National Curriculum Development Center, URA revised the education curriculum to incorporate the aspect of taxation at an advanced level of learning.
So we did an analysis, we looked at the topics, that that are taxation oriented, and we also analyzed the existing syllabus to see where we would put them. And we of course had to take care to make sure that we don't again overload the curriculum. We had to pick out the essential and necessary concepts, basing them on the age levels of the children and the abilities of the children.
Taxation as a component of syllabus is taught through the entrepreneurship subject.
When we say we write a syllabus, we send it to the schools, we tell the schools this is what you will teach. And the schools have to comply, because when the Directorate of Education Standards goes there to evaluate or to see what they are doing, they check what we call the schemes of work and lesson plans of the teachers. And if they find that you jump the topics, then you have something to answer.
Development of this curriculum led to the development of a schools outreach program and subsequently the birth of the National School Speech Championships in 2009. The major objectives of the National Speech Championships were to monitor how well taxation was being taught in schools, prepare reports and create rapport with stakeholders, improve URA's image and increase tax awareness to ultimately boost voluntary compliance.
And so topics were given at the school level. The competition at the school level developed a candidate who then went on to the district level, and there you were competing with other schools in the same district, which was central. We then moved, having picked the winners at the district level, it then came to the national level, where we had, at the national level, I think we had zeroed into 10 schools, but we had started from 300 schools.
That speech competition opened our eyes to the potential in our children to learn a very complicated subject very quickly. And if we don't build onto it, then it is to our loss. So we will need to see how to look at our budget and our resources, and perhaps build partnerships with other institutions to do another speech competition.
Efforts towards sensitizing the taxpayers about their obligation have partly been responsible for improved revenue collection. For example, in financial years 2007-2008, 2008-2009,